It's the Africa Social Impact Summit 2025, a powerful gathering convened by Sterling One Foundation and its partners from governments, business and development institutions, all united in reaffirming their commitment to sustainable development across Nigeria and the continent. Hello and welcome to this special highlight edition of ACES 4.0. I'm Akin Obakeye, and I'll be guiding you through the pivotal conversations and bold ideas explored under this year's theme, Scaling Action, Bold Solutions for Climate Resilience and Policy Innovation. Now in its fourth edition, the Africa Social Impact Summit 2025 has brought together national and subnational government, private sector leaders, regional bodies, and global development partners, all united by one goal: to scale bold, inclusive solutions for climate resilience and policy innovation. Convened by Sterling One Foundation, the United Nations in Nigeria, and the Lagos State Government and other partners, the summit aims to drive collaboration around locally rooted, scalable, and inclusive interventions.
Bold action for me is to say there are 64 partners today. Every single partner must commit to bring along another partner for 2026 so that we can double the partnership. That is bold action. Success would be for every single one of the support to those who back this summit to sign some agreement today or tomorrow or latest by weekend. If you go through this summit and you don't come out with a relationship, an agreement, an MOU, something that means that how you execute going forward is different fundamentally, then you haven't taken a bold step.
Our conversations are going to transform not just Nigeria, but the continent of Africa, because we do not just talk here. From last year's convening alone, Wema Bank signed a partnership with Katsina State Government to train 500,000 youth in the state. EHA Clinic signed a partnership with the Katsina State Government for them to be digital record system in the health system in Katsina State. Woodall Capital signed a partnership with the Nigerian Governors Forum to raise funds for the 36 states of Nigeria. So I encourage everyone, get ready to identify your partners, for you to scale whatever it is you're doing to accelerate the SDGs.
As the dialogue deepens, the question remains, what action must follow to turn Africa's SDG visions into reality?
Rising debt, declining investment, dwindling aid, and the escalating impacts of climate change are hindering the very nations that have contributed the least to these crises. Today, 3 billion people reside in countries that allocate more resources to interest payments than to vital sectors like health and education. This is an untenable situation. Last week, during the 4th International Conference on Financing for Development, world leaders came together to adopt the severe commitment, which delineates 3 urgent priorities. First, catalyzing large-scale investment for sustainable development. Second, addressing the intertwined debt and development crisis. And third, reforming the international financial architecture to better serve the most vulnerable among us. However, the ambitious goals we set must be met with commensurate support. Excellencies, friends, Africa is stepping up with vision, leadership, and courageous solutions. Now it is the turn of the international community to rise to the occasion.
For Nigeria's public sector partners, how much work has been done to drive multi-sectoral social impact in the country?
One of the most critical barriers to scaling climate solutions is access to sustainable and long-term financing. Traditional funding sources alone cannot meet scale of investment required to build resilience across our communities and across the country. Recognizing this, the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning is working to foster an enabling environment for innovative financing, particularly through the growth of Nigeria's impact investment ecosystem. This includes support for mechanisms to attract private capital into these areas. Private capital is what we need to scale the solutions that we see, and the federal government and governments at large need to create, this is states and federal, need to create enabling environments for that private capital to flow.
Lagos State stands at the forefront of Africa's climate resilience journey. Our administration's commitment to sustainable development is evident in initiatives across green energy, smart infrastructure, and inclusive economic growth, all aligned with our Lagos State Development Plan 2052 and the dynamic Themes Plus agenda. We are moving decisively from dialogue to delivery. We are fostering innovative partnerships, and we are attracting investments that will and continue to transform Lagos into a 21st century economy and a model of climate resilience. This summit, co-convened by the Sterling One Foundation and the United Nations, is a vital platform for scaling such bold solutions across the continent.
While discussing the relevance of social impact in sourcing for global funding, these stakeholders believe taking a granular approach to funding can unlock local and foreign capital.
Social impact is pivotal to the conversation in Nigeria, especially in the global climate that we're currently in, where there's a reduction in global international development funding. It calls for everybody to look inwards, look at more indigenous solutions on how we start to destroy the notion that Africans go cap in hand, but that we do have the resources, the talent, and the drive to generate capital locally. And that's what MPO has been doing. But to do this, to make it work, you need a vibrant ecosystem.
We aim to grow our business in ways that drive positive change and build a more sustainable future for the planet and for everyone. And to achieve this, we are focused on prioritizing some goals that also seek to improve climate change and resilience. We face increasing water insecurity in many regions across Africa. We are taking steps to help accelerate those efforts to ensure that everyone or address the water stress, protects the local resources, and also, most importantly, build community climate resilience.
In our work in Nigeria, we have seen the power of opportunity and collaboration, especially when it reaches young people. When supported, they drive new thinking, offer bold solutions, and uplift their communities. An example of this, and one of many, is the A+ Agency, which is a youth-led organization based in Port Harcourt, which is helping fashion entrepreneurs launch their fashion brands into the global market and to build and run international brands which are environmentally friendly, socially inclusive, and importantly, profitable.
The critical question that comes up, from my experience as country director in Nigeria for over 13 years, is young people sitting here will ask, how does this benefit me? How does it benefit young people? How are girls and children benefiting from these conversations and the deals and the investments? Every second, girls are left behind. The gender gap is widening. The World Economic Forum 2 years ago told us it would take 130 years to achieve gender equality. For Plan International, this is totally unacceptable. And we are catalyzing action, bold actions, to ensure we beat this clock and reduce this number of years.
The distance between our goals and ambitions and delivery is still far too wide. And that's why platforms like the ICES matter. They remind us that it's not a single stakeholder. It's no matter how well-intentional we are or well-resourced we are, we cannot solve systemic challenges in isolation. Whether we are trying to build climate resilience, improve financial inclusion, or create viable pathways for youth employment and enterprise, what makes the difference is how we coordinate, how we align, and how we transition from fragmented interventions to connected and scalable systems.
From gender inclusion to agriculture, sustainable climate solutions, Participants were thrilled to different panels that put the spotlight on the actionable plans to scale action. Let's get a sense of one industry African youths easily relate with, the creative economy.
How do you see this industry, the creative industry, particularly film, as a tool for economic diplomacy and national branding for Africa?
We need to train the younger generation. That is one. Two is distribution. Of course, in the last few months, there has been, Dr. Oai and I were on the same panel when, we talked about Netflix leaving Nigeria and everybody took it like the wrong way. It's fine. But again, we need to build our own platforms. We need to build, if we have one strong platform that caters for just Nigeria, caters for 200 and something million people, and you have just 10 million people watch your film and you generate, even if it's 1 naira or 100 naira on a movie, you'll be good.
We are recolonizing through culture, through our films, the rest of Africa and the diaspora. You remember the days when it was just American films? Everyone wanted to talk like an American. They knew more about America than people who have even been there. But today, when you say Igwe, everyone knows what you're talking about.
A kid in my village would only think that he could maybe become a better farmer than his dad. Or if he was good at trading, maybe he could become, one of the bigger traders in the village, market. But now that same kid in the village, all across Africa, believes he can be a world superstar, right? And that's the power of the soft power that creativity has.
With a few more years to go, experts continue to sound the alarm on the need for Africa's progress in sustainable development goals to be accelerated, with about 35% of targets on track. And that's how much we can bring to you on this special highlight. I'm Aki Obake. Until next time, it's bye for now.